Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing something really special. We are decoding the absolute pinnacle of soccer greatness, World Cup classics from 1990 to 2006. If you love understanding exactly how magic is made on the pitch, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down the very specific components that turn a fleeting moment of athletic effort into an immortal memory.
Just listen to the pure, breathless emotion in that legendary commentary. Dennis Bergkamp! It's simply glorious. When an announcer screams those words, time literally stands still, doesn't it? It's not just a quick report of a score update. It's an emotional eruption. It's the realization that what just happened out on that field totally transcends a simple game. But it does beg a really fascinating question.
What actually transforms raw athletic data, the speed, the distance, the angle, into these immortal archetypes of greatness? Why do some goals just fade into the stat sheets, while others are etched into our collective consciousness forever? Well, by analyzing the commentary from these iconic World Cup moments, 4 distinct archetypes emerge. Let's dive in.
Archetype number 1, the sensational solo run.
This is where we see a single player literally impose their will on the entire opposition, just tearing through a defensive line single-handedly. But it comes in totally different flavors, right? Take 18-year-old Michael Owen in that England shirt against Argentina. That run had it all. Unbridled teenage pace, power, and the kind of perfection and poise that completely unpicked the defense. Now, contrast that raw youth with Roger Milla. The commentators highlighted his incredible 30-year-old veteran control. He attacks the last defender just outside the box and pulls off this fabulous, totally calculating finish.
And what's so fascinating here is the context behind Milla's effort. The commentator famously called him the only swinger in town as he sent the Cameroon bench into absolute ecstasy. This wasn't just a goal. It was the textbook definition of a fairy tale comeback. You've got the former African Footballer of the Year making this deeply emotional return to greatness against all odds, becoming a profound inspiration to Cameroon. It's the kind of stuff you literally couldn't write.
But hey, if we want to talk about staggering scale, just consider the number 60. To put that into perspective, that is the 60-yard distance of Majid Abdullah's rocket-like dribble. The commentary highlights how he took on multiple defenders, went wide, got completely past them, and capped off this amazing dribble by looping the ball over a diving, totally helpless goalkeeper. It was hailed as the greatest goal of the tournament purely because of the sheer sustained athletic output over that massive distance.
Moving right along to Archetype 2, spectacular distance strikes.
This archetype is all about pure audacity. It completely bypasses traditional build-up. We're talking about players who look at a set defense and just decide to smash it right over or straight through them with pure ferocious power. Think about Branco's ferocious hit for Brazil, an absolute rocket from a free kick that sent the fans wild. Then you've got Georg Hagi's stunning blow for Romania against Colombia, which caught the goalkeeper completely cold. And of course, Maxi Rodriguez's unbelievable chest and volley against Mexico. Like the commentary said, if ever there was a score that absolutely deserved to win a game in those circumstances, that was it. Just perfect execution of controlling the ball on the chest, followed by an unstoppable volley. Unbelievable.
But hold on, let's rewind to Hagi's goal for a second, because the commentary gives us this really interesting debate. The announcer asks, how on earth did he spot that? Was it a fluke? But then he immediately answers his own question. I don't think it was. Give him the total credit. And honestly, that's the real magic of the distance strike. To the untrained eye, it might look like a hopeful punt, but to a visionary player, it's a highly calculated, pinpoint exploitation of a keeper who's drifted just a fraction of an inch too far.
And sometimes a strike is so perfectly placed that human anatomy is literally useless against it. I absolutely love the sensory language used for Joe Cole's inspired goal here. The commentator joked that the Swedish goalkeeper Isaksson would have needed a stepladder to get to this one. The trajectory of the strike was just that flawless, so dipping and powerful that it rendered the goalkeeper entirely obsolete. Audacious? Yes. Brilliant? Absolutely.
Which brings us to archetype number 3, set-piece masterclasses.
All right, now we're shifting gears from raw power to high-speed mental chess. Look at Argentina's 1998 masterclass against England. It's almost like a 3-act play. First, the English defense is totally bracing for a thundering shot from Batistuta, who pulls off a brilliant dummy. Second, Juan Sebastian Veron slips in this incredibly clever, unexpected pass. And third, thanks to some stellar off-the-ball movement, Javier Zanetti is there to just thrash the shot high beyond a helpless David Seaman. It was a sequence ripped straight off the training ground that completely unhinged the opposition.
But you know, set pieces aren't always about deception. Sometimes they're purely about undeniable aerial dominance. Contrast that sneaky Argentini trickery with the beautifully simple, raw climbing power of a perfectly timed header. Think of Zinedine Zidane barely even having to jump to give France the perfect start. Or Marco Materazzi's thumping, powerful header against France, where he just physically climbed higher and harder than Patrick Vieira. It's where sheer raw power meets perfect delivery.
And finally, archetype 4, dramatic late winners.
Notice how the tension just skyrockets here. Legs are heavy, lungs are burning, and hope is fading fast. At 85 minutes, Salvatore Schelesi scores to make it 2-1, securing victory and outright grabbing that top scorer spot. But then we push into extra time. 119 minutes on the watch. Fabio Grosso strikes brilliantly to break the total deadlock against Germany. And then, at the absolute maximum of 120 minutes, substitute David Platt delivers this crushing death blow volley to spare England from a penalty shootout against Belgium. The later the goal, the more devastating the impact.
The crucial point here is totally captured by the pure pandemonium in the announcer's voice. Italy surely are through to Berlin. Germany have been silenced. These aren't just goals anymore, folks. They are defining historical events. A ball hits the back of the net in the 119th minute, and an entire host nation is stunned into silence while another absolutely erupts. These late winners are literally altering national histories in real time.
Let's do a detailed breakdown. We're looking at the anatomy of perfection.
So, we've talked about power, distance, strategy, and timing. But let's isolate one specific goal to deconstruct what might just be the single most perfectly executed sequence we're covering in this explainer. I am talking, of course, about Dennis Bergkamp for the Netherlands against Argentina. It is an absolute masterclass in technique. Let's break it down. The first touch? Brilliant. He brings a massive high pass effortlessly under control. The second touch? Wonderful. He cuts right back inside the defender to create the angle. And the third touch? Outside of the right foot, finishing it high into the net. 3 touches that took a desperate, long aerial pass and turned it into a priceless work of art.
And honestly, the reaction to this sequence gave us arguably the best commentary of all time. He looks towards the heavens because a goal like that belongs there. This specific archetype of perfection, it genuinely transcends normal athletic achievement. It feels almost supernatural, right? It's the ultimate marriage of pure vision, flawless technique, and under-pressure execution.
Forging memories, the ultimate football legacy.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? When we look back at the years from 1990 to 2006, one thing is incredibly clear. Iconic memories aren't just happy accidents. They are forged. This greatness is built on 4 distinct pillars. It's the raw athletic power of the solo run, leaving defenders totally in the dust. It's the audacious distance strikes that rely on pure vision and physics. It's the tactical mental chess of a flawless set piece. And of course, it's the heart-stopping late drama that tests a player's mental fortitude when the entire world is watching.
The beautiful game is always evolving, sure, but these structural archetypes of greatness, they remain the absolute foundation of our favorite memories. As players get faster, tactics get sharper, and the stakes climb even higher, I want to leave you with this final thought. Which archetype of greatness will